everyone, Dwayne here. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're doing a wash video on the 21 Bronco. We're going to start using our favorite flavor of car wash here. Smell, by the way. Duragloss 902. We used to get this in auto parts store locally. Now we get it on Amazon. And this is 1 ounce per gallon of water, which is basically 3 capfuls per gallon of water. So you can adjust it accordingly. So Duragloss 902, good stuff. Been using it since probably the late 80s or early 90s. Now you'll see I have 3 different buckets here. We're going to start with the wheel bucket. So I'm going to put the car wash in here. As you'll see, I have a strainer in the bottom of each bucket. And so this is going to help with the heavy aggregate dirt, whatever, settle to the bottom and not keep getting put back onto the vehicle as much as possible. So this is a wheel bucket. This is my wash bucket. This is where we'll put the car wash in there along with our wool mitt that I use about 4 times before I move it to an older vehicle with not a great paint job. This is a rinse bucket. This will have clean water in it. This bucket, and see the strainers in this one as well. When I wash the Bronco with the wool mitt will then get dipped and cleaned into this water here. I'll wring it, wring most of the water out, and then I'll put it back into the soapy water before I wash again. For the wheels, a medium brush here. I use this for in between the spokes on the back side of the wheels. Got a good reach to it. I use this microfiber cheapie here that I got from the $1.25 store now. I use this for the painted part of the wheel, the face, and also the beadlock ring here. And this is a sort of a stiff bristle brush. I use this for the tire only. I do not touch the rim with this because I don't want to scratch the paint. That's basically for cleaning the tire. And there's something else that I wash with the wheel bucket on here, and that's just the way I do it. But there's several great ways to wash a vehicle. A lot of people ask me, how do I keep my black 66 Mustang clean with no swirls? And how do I keep my Broncos clean? Well, in this video, you're going to find out how I do it. Okay, so when I'm washing a Bronco, I have my way of doing it. It's kind of sort of habit, I guess. And one of the things that I'm going to do, especially because in the end I'm going to use a leaf blower, is when you're washing and rinsing, you're going to get water obviously on the ground below the Bronco. You know that. But so I'm going to spray water a little bit further around the Bronco than, say, I normally would, because I'm going to use the leaf blower in the end. Now remember, this is not just a Bronco washing video. It's any vehicle, really. In this case, though, we're washing our 21 Badlands Ford Bronco, complete with the wrap on the side. Another thing is, if you have a wrap or some type of PPF, you just want to make sure, and this is probably more for a wrap versus a PPF, and when I say wrap, I mean like a logo type stuff. You just don't want to use a really heavy cleaner that's going to hurt the clear coat and that as well. Now, one of the things I'm going to do is lift my wiper arms up and out of the way, and I am going to do a pre-wash. I do have a ladder on the other side, so let's rinse all the dirt that we can get off and get the ground wet, and let's roll. Alright, so basically I start with the wheels and get all the wheels done, including the spare, yeah, show you how I do it. All right, so after I've cleaned the the face of the wheel and reached in there as much as I could in the spoke area and cleaned the tire, I take the same rag that I use for my wheels, because my wheels aren't really muddy. If they were really muddy, this might have to be a different situation here, but basically you see the Bronco wasn't that dirty. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean my fender flares with this. Now, a couple reasons for that. Sometimes you do get a lot of, road grime on here and mud on this, but this is a coarse finish and it's not like I'm worried about rubbing the clear coat. So I do that, and sometimes I'll even do the front bumper, but in this case the bumper's not bad, so we're going to do it with a regular one. I'm also going to do the rock rail, and if you don't have rock rails, you have steps or running board, same thing. You want to definitely, what I do is I clean it with this rag here. Alright, so I'm going to rinse the wheel, the fender flare, the rock rail, and I want to repeat this all the way around. Okay, so one bit of information that I didn't say in the very beginning of the video is the fact that I don't wash my vehicles in the sunlight, direct sun. So today for filming, scheduling, we're doing it kind of during the day. Well, it is midday. However, we have a mostly overcast day, as you can see. So I typically do this in the morning before the sun comes over this part of the house, or in the afternoon when the sun sets. And the reason for that, I don't want to fight the sun rays drying the water on the paint, and I feel like I'm in a hurry and stressed out. One of the things I don't want is the paint or the water to dry, to evaporate and leave that sediment behind on the clear coat. So that's just something that I do. And there again, on this video, I'm just showing you what we do. I'm not suggesting any of this. There are several different ways. There's touchless power washers where you have the foaming applicators. That's a great system too. This is just what I use. It's been a few minutes since we've rinsed the dirt off the Bronco, or what we could. So I'm going to hit the areas that I'm getting ready to wash again really quick to make sure when I put the wool mid on there, there's enough water on it. Normally I would roll my sleeve up, probably should with this part. Probably normally wouldn't wear flannel, but I just happen to do it today. So when I'm washing, I like to use the front to back motion.
No swirls.
No swirls. So to prevent that, we're the best we can, we're going to go front to back. So starting on the hood, take these forward motions, try to get the trail sights here. And I want to do these front to back motions. As much as possible. Now every once in a while I'll just take this and flip it over, just because there's more soap and water on that side and less grit. Of course, the Bronco is well, it catches bugs and everything else because of the angle of the windshield. So I'm going to take this mitt off for reaching purposes here. Now this part I go left to right on, just because it doesn't make a lot of sense. I try not to get soap on the top itself, the soft top. The soft top is going to be a separate video altogether. I'll talk about that later. So let's get all of the bug residue. And there's this really weird gap between the windshield. So I like to fold that over, get this down in here. Fun stuff. I like the white Bronco letters. So do the bugs. You can see every one of them that went up to look at them very closely. So there's several different ways. I'm sure you can use a brush in here, but I just put my fingers in there and just let it roll right through there and cleans it out nicely. All right, so just washed the grill, rinsed it off. You didn't need to see that. And pre-rinsed or post-rinse, pre-rinse, whatever you want to call it. I got the dirt out of the wool mitt. So now I have it soaking in the soapy water. So as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by some people on a golf cart blaring some really cool country song that I can't play on YouTube because, you know, YouTube frowns on that. We had to cut that part out. So we're back to washing this. So the mirrors are important. You know, you need to see what's behind you. But a metaphor in life, the reason why your rear view mirror and side mirrors are so small and the windshield is so big, because your future is in front of you. What's behind you is just distant memory. Or the cops, so you do need to see those. So, but anyway, so we're going to do that front to back motion here. Underneath the door handle. A note, if you put your key fob like away from the Bronco, it's better, because if you have it in your pocket and you're doing this, it's opening, it's locking and unlocking and locking and unlocking. It's just annoying. That's the pro tip of the day, by the way. There you go. Cleaning the windows. It doesn't matter how I clean this MIC or glass. Obviously, you can, whatever you want to do. I'll show you on the window how I do that. But let's keep going with the paint. All right, so we have something on the side here. I have this little mark. Came off. I know, and some people have literally turned their Broncos on their side on the rocks and stuff, and here I am worried about a little, but you know, that's just the way it works. Now Becky's Bronco, on the other hand, now that one, wait till we watch that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I bet you
I don't know what you're talking about or inferring about my Bronco.
Unlike the Range Rover, she hasn't backed into a tree with it yet, so
that was just a little branch.
Notice how she didn't deny it.
It was a smooch.
Yeah. Yeah.
That my friend had to pull off the car so I could finish backing up. It was a path that was not meant for vehicles.
Okay, there again, you don't need to see this part, right? But I'm going to get the crud out of it, and yeah, that's one dirty Bronco right there.
That Bronco is well used and well loved. It looks fine from this viewpoint. And this, folks, is how you rinse the Bronco.
See how skilled I am? I just got, look, I can hold the hose here and the nozzle. And that's why she married me.
While he's rinsing the Bronco, here's a little fun story. When Dwayne and I first started dating, I lived in a townhouse with my roommate, and we didn't have a lawnmower, so we were cutting the grass with a weed whacker. One day I came home from work, and this lovely man of mine had gone to Home Depot or Lowe's, I'm not sure which, and bought us a lawnmower, brought it back, and cut our grass. It was so sweet. Talk about a gesture of love.
And let me tell you, if you want to know the true quickest path to a woman's heart, is buy her a lawnmower and cut the grass. And normally, though, that gets you the treatment like if, no, we're not going to go there, but yeah, it was something I wanted to do because I felt like, you know, I could contribute and she'd see I was a hard worker.
I didn't have blisters on my hands anymore.
And that lawnmower turned into that. Oh, and by the way, just for the fun of it, I buy houses. If you have a house for sale,
Tell your friends.
let us know. Contributing builder for Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
It was great.
Anyway, let's get back to washing the Bronco.
Wash the Bronco.
Okay, so you've seen the process. I use 3 buckets, the car wash, the Duragloss that we use, and you've seen me wash just like you already know how to do it. This is one of the good ways, or one of the ways that I think is really good to wash a vehicle. There again, this is how I do it. I'm not telling you to do it this way, but now the last part is drying it. A soft top holds a lot of water, right? So this helps to dry that. So when you've wiped everything down, it's clean, and you drive away, you don't get all the water flowing off the back. So I use a leaf blower mainly to get the water off the paint, and without any further drying time, let me get started. Because it's going to be bad for the audio to have the leaf blower in the background, Becky's going to do a time lapse, and we'll put some cool music over this, and then I'll tell you what we're doing in the end. The video, so I just tried to break it down on how I wash vehicles and car wash I use and the process. It seems to work good for me. It's worked over the years, and I know there's more high-tech ways of doing it, probably better ways of doing it, but to me this is the easiest way that I've been able to manage our vehicles, you know, and not have to spend too much time on them, but yet not end up with swirl marks and everything. The Mustang, the black Mustang, will be hard because the last time I parked it, I didn't put the cover on it, and it got too dirty, and so I didn't want to put the cover on it, and I haven't been able to move it because fuel pump issue. So we're actually going to do a video of swapping the fuel pump out and retrofitting a new oil filter in there. But for the Bronco, this is it. So the finished product here is, it looks good. I did take a microfiber towel, the small one, and just touched up wherever there was a little, you know, water spots or whatever. I did get a little bit of water spots on the hood today, and what I did is took bottled water and I put it on a new microfiber towel and just got it damp, and I wiped the spots down with that and then dried it. And the reason why I did that is I used that wet cloth to get that residue, the minerals, out of the off the paint. That's the one thing with me. I just try to avoid the water spots. If it gets rained on, that's one thing, but that's it. Becky just cranked her Bronco up, so that's cue for me to move. Hope you liked the video. Please, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell notification for all the videos that, you know, that we post. We go live, or we just hit all notifications, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks, everyone.